Welcome to Our Darlington, the podcast where we explore the heart and soul of Darlington through its local independent businesses and the people that make it special. I'm James Carver.
I'm Henry Carver, and we're here to shine a spotlight on our beloved town. Join us as we sit down with the passionate local people to delve into their stories and uncover the unique contributions they make to our community and to find out about the town where we live.
Get ready to be inspired by the people and stories that make Darlington truly special.
The Starlight Rebel, my fourth book with Puffin, which is set in the future. They're all set in Darlington or in the northeast, because when I was little, I didn't see books set around here, as well as not seeing disabled and neurodivergent characters portrayed brilliantly.
How did it feel the first time you saw your book on a shelf?
Really peculiar. My job's making stuff up. I mean, that's not real, is it?
I love that. Today, we're delighted to be joined by Lisette Auton, a multi-award-winning author, poet, spoken word performer, playwright, creative practitioner and activist. Lisette is proudly based right here in Darlington. She's written several celebrated novels, all brimming with imagination, brave, disabled and neurodivergent characters within settings that feel both magical and rooted in place. Lisette is also a Sense ambassador and a passionate advocate for better disability representation in the arts, bringing kindness, playfulness and access to everything she does. We're thrilled to have her here to chat about her journey, her books, her creative practice and what Darlington means to her. Welcome, Lisette.
Thank you. Can you stay in my cupboard and pop out occasionally? Just say that, please.
Well,
that
we've actually recorded it, so you can just have it as your ringtone if you want, or your doorbell or whatever it may be.
You may be able to play this back if you so wish. Why did we have 1,000 hits within the first day?
Yeah, not me in the slightest.
Was that an accurate introduction then?
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, it makes me blush. Like you're not meant. I don't know. There's that thing about maybe being a Darlow lass, and it feels a bit weird to kind of hear yourself said back like that, because I'm normally kind of do stuff with words. So that sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this can be the upgraded version of doing stuff with words.
Yeah, brilliant.
Absolutely.
So what stuff do you do with words? So you're an author. How did you get into writing? Has it always been a passion of yours?
Yeah, it's always been something I've loved. When I was little, you'd find me either in the plum tree in the garden, which my mum scandalously chopped down, still have never, ever forgiven her for, or finding a sunbeam on carpet, just read books all the time. Like when I got my adult card for Cockton Library, that was the best day ever. Yeah. So just, it's the only thing I'm good at. Like if I run out of fingers, I can't do maths. Science, set my friend's hair on fire. Geography, my mum and I are now going on a 3-week tour of America because I didn't realise how big it was. So yeah, words, it's what I do, what I love.
Fantastic. And when did the first book come into your mind?
So, I mean, there's the first books that we do not speak of that live in the hard drive and the drawer. I mean, they were quite a while ago now. But the first book that actually made it through those stages was, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, The Secret of Haven Point. That was the first one that kind of appeared that people went, oh, that's not too bad.
Fantastic. And how long does it take to write a book? Is it weeks, months, years?
Used to be years.
Yeah.
Very much so. Now it's more of a cycle. So over the last 4 years, I've had a book out every year. So it's meant that while one is being copy edited, so where they work out that I've called someone Bert at the beginning and by the end they're called Bill. So when that bit's happening by people who are far more clever than me, and they're working out all the grammar and whether things add up properly, while that's happening, I'm drafting and coming up with an idea for a new book, and I'm probably promoting the one beforehand. So it's on kind of a cycle of a year, but doing 3 jobs at once, as well as all the other stuff that I do.
So what stage are you at with various things at the moment? Are you promoting something at the moment?
Yeah, so The Starlight Rebel, my fourth book with Puffin, which is set in the future. They're all set in Darlington or in the northeast, because when I was little, I didn't see books set around here, as well as not seeing disabled and neurodivergent characters portrayed brilliantly. Like the first terrible book that I wrote that did not sell for very good reason was set in London, because I thought you had to set books down there, and it's nice for a day trip, but it's not where I live and I know nothing about it. So it's set in the future. Neurodivergent main character who has freckles, very, very different from everybody around her, and there are no stars. So with her and her newfound alien friend, she has to work out how to overthrow an evil government and let all the creatures from beyond back in and find the stars. So that's the Starlight Rebel.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. And who are your sort of core audience in terms of the genre?
So, I probably should stick in my own wheelhouse, but I have yet to stay in the same genre.
Okay.
But in terms of readership, if you go to Waterstones or any indie bookshop, they're normally in the 9 to 12 region. But adults seem to love them as well. So the first one was as an adventure story. That was The Secret of Haven Point, set in the red and white stripy lighthouse at Suter Point at South Shields, near where my nana used to live. The second one was The Stickleback Catcher, and that's very much set in Darlington. It's got the Deans in it. It had the amazing Beryl from Guru. That's in it. High Rose in it. It's all set around here. And that's a mystery and a time travel novel. And the third one, Lights Up, that's set in the Hippodrome in town. And I had the book launch for it there. That was brilliant. And that's a ghost story with multiple timelines. And then this one is set in the future and it's sci-fi. So yeah, it would be really good once I've learned to do one thing, if I could just kind of, do it again. But yeah, I'm not very good at that. I like a challenge.
Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely.
But you've got a background in acting, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you studied acting, you went to theatre school?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I think I probably should have gone, according to my dad, gone and done proper stuff. But I went to Bretton Hall, so it's part of Yorkshire Sculpture Park and part of the University of Leeds. So I went there and did devised performance, which is basically make it up as you go along acting.
Yeah.
I didn't died when I had to tell my dad, who'd taken the mick out of me for probably going and learning how to be a tree, that in our first month there we did in fact learn how to be a tree. So Darlo dad, having to tell him that. But it was great, and the thing that I loved there was that I got to work in Newhall Women's Prison, in the high security men's prison there, working with children, and I realised that I didn't want to be a teacher. No one needs me as a teacher, but I did want to kind of work creatively with other humans as well. So learning that there became a big part of what I do, and about story. That's the basis of everything I do is story, and I learned a lot about that there.
Because being an author is just sort of one part of what you do. Can you tell us about the other aspects of your career?
Yeah, it's definitely, a portfolio career. So I think my agent would quite like it if I just stuck to writing books and put out more than one a year. But I get bored doing that very easily. And I think if I just sat in my studio and wrote all day, I wouldn't be taking things in from other places. So I run workshops. I mentor for Curtis Brown on their amazing program that mentors disabled and neurodivergent authors. I go and do schools, go and work in schools and do events and workshops. I work with an incredible charity called Blue Cabin, and they work with care experienced young people. So I'm working in prison with them at the moment. I do spoken word, so I go out and perform my own poetry on big stages such as South Bank Centre or the Glass House. I'm recording an advert tomorrow. If it's got words in it, I do it, basically.
Yeah.
You're quite good, aren't you?
I'm good at making it up as I go along and putting the smile on that says I know exactly what I'm doing. I did an amazing project with New Writing North, who, if we've got aspiring authors, writers, playwrights out there, check out New Writing North. They're a development agency in the Northeast. And I managed to write a piece that was accepted for their New Narratives of the Northeast project. And they really liked the piece. And afterwards, Claire, their big boss, had a Zoom call with me and said, "What would you like to do next?" And no one ever says that and means it, do they? So I said, "I'd like to make a film." At which point she went, "Here you go, here's some money." And I literally went out and Googled, how do you make a film? That's what my career is based on, don't tell anyone. But say yes, smile, and then work out how to do it afterwards.
So did you make a film?
Yeah, 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing. Going back to, obviously, you as an author, how did it feel the first time you saw your book on a shelf?
Really peculiar. It was something that I dreamed of since I was little. So when I was little, I always used to make books, And I used to get worried about whether it was the official way to sellotape them or staple them together. Still don't know what the official answer is to that. But I'd always draw the little yellow bird, the little yellow puffin in the corner, because that's the books that I saw with Roald Dahl and people like that. So to be published by Puffin with the little yellow bird. But I think it just kind of felt surreal. It wasn't quite the whelms of excitement I was expecting. I think because by the time it comes out in the shops, it's pretty much a year before you'd probably read it. And so many people have been part of shaping it and making it amazing that by the time it's there, it's just massive. It's still massively surreal. Now I go and do book signings and I go in and see them on the shelf. And now there's a little family of 4 all sitting together. And it's just like, it's amazing, but really weird. It's more weird than anything else. I still can't get my head around it 4 years down the line.
So is it sort of like out-of-body experience looking in? I think the phrase imposter syndrome is used quite often. I don't know the official definition, but I'm guessing, is it something along those lines?
Yeah, it was definitely at the beginning. Now with the books, it's feeling, because I've had so much support, like people think that you just write alone. You do at the beginning, or if you have someone like New Writing North and people around you. But by the time it gets to the stage where it's being published, you've probably got some really good writer friends, and you've got your editor and your copy editor and the people who are doing the artwork, and maybe a publicity person who's working with you, and your agent. So it kind of feels like if there's that many people who are on board, I must kind of ish know what I'm doing now. But it's more the fact that little Lisette, like when she was 5, was drawing that puffin. Yeah. And that's that can't possibly be actually real. So I still think that bit just hasn't sunk in.
You've manifested it.
Yeah. I still keep thinking at some point in time that someone will go, oh yeah, you didn't write those. It's not you actually. Why are you putting that scribble in the book? Please, would you leave the real Lisette?
You think you'll wake up and all of a sudden, you're in a different life, or what have you.
My job's making stuff up. I mean, that's not real, is it?
I love that.
So your role as a mentor,
Yeah.
and the work you do with schools and the community. Growing up, did you have anyone that sort of supported you or mentored you, or that you looked up to, that you sort of said, you know what, you mentioned Roald Dahl. Maybe not he mentored you, but was there anyone at school or?
I went to Mowden, and at Mowden there was Mrs. Welsh, and she was an amazing English teacher. And I think she was one of the ones who realised I was very bored, who therefore gave me full reign of the library. There was always been great teachers who've kind of popped a book on a desk and that's been, out of the remit of school and said, here you go, have a go at reading that. Same at Hummersnott. I went to Hummersnott and then I went on to QE as well. And there was always people there, but I didn't really tell anyone that I wanted to write. So there wasn't really anyone specific. I was a massive secret scribbler. I just kind of did it on my own. And people talk about there being closed doors to things. It wasn't like there was closed doors for me. I just didn't even know that there were doors, and it was just not within my capacity to even know where they were or how to open them. So I just assumed that all these stories that I was writing and filling up notebooks and eventually starting to type, that they would just stay in a drawer. I don't think I ever thought, someone from Darlington can't do something like this. It's just that I didn't have role models around me who were mirroring that was a possibility. It was just extremely just a thing you did as a hobby, and then you went and got a proper job.
Yeah.
What advice would you give young Lisette?
Show people your work. Show your teachers. Show everybody. Find people who can support you in this. There was obviously a flair for something there, and it wasn't necessarily nurtured because I kept it hidden. I don't know why I did. I think it was just like my secret thing. And get it out there sooner. My first book didn't get published till I was 40. So I'm still a bit grumpy about that. That had I put myself out there more sooner, then that could have happened sooner. So I love, I go into schools lots, I run workshops, I do all sorts of things. So, and with that, it's just, write. The only way that you can learn. You can do all the fancy courses in the universe, but I didn't do any of them. Because A, I didn't know they existed, and B, I didn't have the cash. But you read like, why is this making your heart pound? What have they done? Go back and analyse it. Why are you skipping these pages? Like, what's really boring about it? If you can be a close reader, you can be a brilliant writer.
Why is it important to you to feature neurodivergent and disabled characters within your work?
So I'm both of those things. So that's massive. When I was young, I didn't see anybody who reflected me at all. Disabled characters in books when I was young were either made to stay at home while everyone else had the adventure. They got magically fixed. So we were meant to think that disability is lesser and the only way that you can be full is by being fixed, or they died. So not particularly brilliant a read, and that was on telly and radio and everything. And when I was 21, I became really, really ill. Just about managed to get through university. I was going to go off, I'd done a TEFL course. My plan was to go to China to teach English. And I was back at home in Darlington in the tiny little bedroom because my sister had nicked mine. It was like at that level of trauma. Back home, and I spent many years either bedbound or using a wheelchair. And Radio 4 was my best friend. Listened to that constantly, and that turned me into, even when I could just write like one sentence a day or imagine stories. And I don't want anyone to be me and feel that that was something to be ashamed of. I lost loads of uni friends and lots of people because I didn't dare tell them how unwell that I was, because I felt that that was lesser. Now that I'm part of a brilliant disabled community and a neurodivergent community, I am not lesser. I am bloody brilliant, exactly the way I am. And I would like children to see that. So when I go into school, there's usually at the front, randomly, a little neurodivergent gang. And when I'm up on a big stage with my big PowerPoint and I'm saying, I'm neurodivergent, I'm autistic, and there's these little kids at the bottom going, oh, me too. And we do like little high fives and stuff. And I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps now. That is why I do it, because those kids need to know, like I didn't, that they are absolutely brilliant the way they are, and they don't need to change. The world around them needs to change, and that's what Access is all about. That was quite ranty. I do apologise. I get quite passionate about that.
I think the support and recognition and sort of signposting in schools now compared to 20 years ago is very, very different, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is. And if you've got the right teachers and the right support system, I know there's horrific stuff going on, and teachers aren't to blame. Just about the politics of the systems, getting support in place you have to fight for it. And I don't believe that we should fight for the rights of children. They should just be there. However you need to learn and work and thrive, there should be opportunities for that. The systems that we are in don't always allow for that, but there are incredible teachers and practitioners and mentors and amazing people out there working within systems that don't always support them to kind of do the best for young people, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. So you're doing a presentation at school. You mentioned a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And are they interactive? How do they look? What do you do? Do you give them little challenges, little tests? Do you get them to?
Yeah, it's chaos. It's unbridled chaos, which is magnificent. Like, I couldn't be a teacher because it'd just be too chaotic all the time. I come back knackered. My husband's like, why can't you just calm it down just a little bit? But as soon as I get up there, I'm like a wound spring. We have a is it miniature or real round of quizzing with Snod's Edge and Wallish Walls, 2 automatons from one of the books. The teachers have to be that. At some point in time, I wear a beard with a cat in it, and the kids have to build a word hoard. We get the tallest teacher in the room and take the mick out of them for a little bit as we work out about a sea captain that I found who had a ridiculously long beard. But we talk about the importance of being who you are, of neurodivergence and disability. We talk about place, how important it is that I honour the place that I live in and how that's in all the books. And then we go on and we do a ridiculous and brilliant map-making workshop, which by the end of the session, all children, and it means all children from nursery to sixth form for adults, but also if you have any SEN children. I hate it when it's the whole, this is the activity for you lot, and this is the activity for you lot. It works on all levels. So we make a map of a whole new world that we've just invented, and then they can go away and write stories from it. So it's chaos, it's sweaty chaos, and it's brilliant.
That sounds very good fun.
It is, it's fab.
It does sound incredible. You mentioned the place where we live, Darlington.
Yeah.
What do you love most about the town?
I love its capacity to fight. It quite often feels like...
Hopefully not literally.
no, what would that be like, Friday night down the pubs? No, not that kind of fight. Fighting to get itself on the map, and especially now for kind of trains, brilliant and amazing, but there's other things happening here as well. So I'm over at Innovation Central, so this bit by the railway station and all that's happening there and bringing people in. I don't want to have to go and live in London to do my job. I can come here by the train station, and there is a podcast studio set up here. We have amazing theatres. Must big up my amazing friends at Tracks in Darlington, who put on amazing music events and support local artists. It's that undercurrent of fight. We are here and we are doing incredible things, and we deserve to be on the map, and we don't have to go to other places. Come here. That's that kind of rawness and ruggedness about it. I really like that.
That sounds perfect clip for a podcast about Darlington. We should maybe clip that bit up. That is fantastic. I had a question there. It's just disappeared out of my mind. I can't remember what I was going to say.
Get it.
I can't.
If you were to pop out in Darlington for a bite to eat, have you got any sort of favourite places to go?
Me and Mum always go to Al Forno. Mum is a celiac and I have a nut allergy, and they are always brilliant at doing that. Love all the independent cafes, independent bars, anywhere that's, chains are brilliant and wonderful, but if I can support kind of local, then I do. Like the markets that pop up where you've got your indie makers there. Love all that.
Yeah, I think they're the Misfits market.
Yes,
last week.
yeah. My friend Vic makes amazing lotions and potions, and she was there. Thank you, Vic, for sending me to sleep on a night time with my tranquil Revlon. Well done, Vic.
What does the next 5 years hold for Lisette Auton?
Who the hecky thump knows? 5 years ago, I didn't have a book out.
Yeah.
I hadn't written plays, so I'm a playwright. I've had plays on all over the place. I don't know. I think I would say more of the same, but probably really not. Like, I've got so many ideas for so many different things. Last year I was one of the Tees Valley Artists of the Year, which was an incredible scheme to kind of upskill and support local artists, which is amazing that that's happening in this area. It's the only area in the country where things like that are happening. So that gave me loads of skills, but it also gave me like the busiest year of my life on top of all the other things going on. So it feels like a bit of a time of reflection, of kind of going, gosh, I've got here, like, what do I, and all this, I'd like to pretend that I knew what I was doing. But none of this was shaped. This was me just randomly saying yes to stuff and couldn't quite believe that people were asking me to do things. Just saying yes all over the place. And maybe it's more about me going, what do I actually really like doing? Where do I want to be and how do I shape it? Maybe slightly less chaos, possibly. Probably not. That's the biggest lie I've ever told.
We'll catch up in 5 years or before and it'll be more chaos.
Absolute chaos, yeah.
How do people find out more about you? Website, social media, I'm assuming?
Yeah, social media, the main thing that things tend to get put on is Instagram, and that's at Lisette_Auton. And then my name's weird. Just type that into Google, it pops up and my website's there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Would you have any advice for anyone who has a talent but feels the actual becoming an author is not feasible in terms of they've got a full-time job currently, they've got a family, they don't have spare time, but they've got a talent that's not being used or published to the world? What advice would you give to that person?
See if there's something that you can do as a hobby. Mine was a hobby, and it kind of still is a hobby because I write lots of stuff that isn't commissioned. And so if you love it, find a little bit of time, but treat it the way that you might go for a run, or you might bake, or you might do something like that. I think as soon as you put pressure on yourself, there's a thing about, you need to write X amount of words a day, and you need to dig out this time, and you must. And that's just terrifying, and it doesn't work for lots of people.
Takes the fun out of it.
Exactly. So if you've got a commute, take a notebook or a laptop and maybe don't scroll Facebook quite as much as I do as a procrastination tool, and instead just write a few lines. Or if you're going on a walk, think about something and scribble it down afterwards. Keep it simple and easy and unpressured. And I think that allows you to work out whether this is something that you want to make more time for, if possible. And if so, brilliant, I'll come along to your book signing and that'll be fab.
Perfection.
That's good.
Thank you very much indeed for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me, both of you.